Welcome all. It's my pleasure today to welcome the Czech Ambassador to Armenia, Petr Piruncik. So, Ambassador, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you were stationed in Armenia in January, you presented your credentials. Just briefly to start off, how has this short time in Armenia been? How has the country welcomed you?
It's been great. I mean, I came in January. It wasn't the first time I was in Armenia. I had been here 3 times before as a tourist and with some official delegations, just like short time. I came in January and I was surprised that Yerevan is not the city that I remember. It wasn't green at all, actually. There were no flowers. So I was first a bit surprised and kind of disappointed, I must say, because I remembered Yerevan as the flowery city, very colorful and green. But since the very beginning, I mean, Armenia was just, or has been just, I remembered it, and I chose Armenia to come to as an ambassador. And since the very beginning, it was clear that it was the right choice. So it has been good, and it's getting even better because the spring is coming and the city is getting as green as I remember it.
Mm-hmm. And you've also been using your social media platform presence to highlight cycling in Armenia. I noticed you'd been cycling in the Armenian countryside, visiting different places and sharing it with us on social media. It's a casual question, but is Armenia a cycling friendly place in your opinion? I mean, what was that experience like?
I don't know if it's cycling friendly of a country. I mean, I cannot say that it is unfriendly. There are some good roads. There are actually many good roads. You know, there are certainly many more good roads that I remember from my previous visit. So the roads are not bad. First, the drivers are not bad either. They are actually cautious when they see cyclists. They slow down and they are cautious. I can say that Armenia is an exotic place to cycle, actually, because people are not used to seeing cyclists. And if you have a road bike and if you have your lycra, right? Like, people just are surprised to see like a professional from Tour de France. So my experience is that when I am riding through Armenian towns and villages, people are just waving at me, shouting at me, they are greeting me, you know. So it's been very exotic in this sense. Plus there are some other exotic phenomena, like sometimes the dogs are chasing you in the villages, you know. So I mean, it has been challenging for sure. It wasn't always easy, or it is not always easy to cycle in Armenia, but I wouldn't say that it's an unfriendly country to cycle. So I would encourage everyone to try it. There are not enough cyclists in the streets, in the forests, or on the roads. So I would, if I may, I would encourage the Armenian friends to pick up cycling and cycle more.
Okay, and obviously your appointment, you're coming to Armenia is at a very difficult time for the country. The blockade by Azerbaijan of Nagorno-Karabakh has passed its 100th day mark. Many international actors have called for the blockade to be lifted. What is Prague's position with regards to what's happening in the Lachin corridor at the moment?
You're right that it is not an easy time for Armenia, and we know it. I just try to remember when there was an easy time for Armenia, actually. But this is particularly uneasy, and we understand that. As for the blockade of the Lachin Equator, we certainly closely follow the developments and the humanitarian implications. We, as the Czech Republic, and also we, as the EU, has called or has urged Azerbaijan to secure free movement through the corridor. A secure movement, by the way, was agreed in November 2020. So it is something that all three parties actually agreed on. And we use every opportunity, we as the Czech Republic, again, and we as the European Union use every opportunity to call on Azerbaijan to secure the free movement. You probably know that the EU has issued several statements actually in this or on this, and those statements quite clearly call on Azerbaijan. We are not hiding, however, we as the Czech Republic are not hiding, however, behind the European Union. So we also use every opportunity. We have to talk to our Azerbaijani colleagues and friends. Right now, actually, the Deputy Minister or the Director General, which is on the rank of the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Czech Republic, is in Baku, having official consultations, and this will be, or is actually, or has been already, one of the topics that he discussed with the Azerbaijani partners. At the same time, however, we know that the Azerbaijanis have their own concerns, and they have come with several proposals. So we believe that the blockade and the whole issue about it must be solved, and the only solution is through talks. There is really no military or no pressure or no aggressive solution by any side. And also, I would like to just remind you and the people who are watching that according to the agreements, Russia is actually responsible for the safety of the transportation, actually, of the transportation routes. So Russia should also play its role in securing the safe movement and safe transportation. So that's something that the Czech Republic sees clearly, and we are certainly not being passive, but we understand that both sides need to agree on a viable solution.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the EU sent a civilian mission to Armenia proper. The mission is about 100 members strong. It has a 2 years mandate. It will be deployed to the Armenian side of the border with Azerbaijan. Of course, Czech Republic is an EU member state. I'm wondering, what is the Czech Republic's contribution to this mission?
Yeah, you're correct. The EU mission in Armenia, EUMA, as the abbreviation goes, was officially established in February on the 20th, if I remember correctly. There will be, when the mission is fully operational, there will be up to 100 observers or 100 staff. It's not just observers, actually, out of which 7 people come from the Czech Republic. So the Czech contribution is quite significant. We have 7 people, including the spokesperson, actually, for the mission. So the Czech Republic is rather substantially participating in this mission. Just generally speaking, the mission, in my opinion, and I believe that it is not just my opinion, is a proof of the EU commitment to the stable and secure or to the stability and security in the region. The mission, as you know, was actually invited here by Armenia. The Armenian side, I must say, is cooperating very, very positively, and we have a full cooperation with the Armenian side. We also have some cooperation actually with the Azerbaijanis regarding this mission. So I would say so far so good. We hope that this mission will, first of all, contribute to the security and safety of the locals, of the local people living in the border areas. We also hope that it will somehow contribute to having the information, so the operational informing actually is something that is or will be pretty useful to have the info from the ground. And also, we hope that the mission will somehow contribute to building trust between all parties involved. And as I said, so far, so good. So I am glad that we have an instrument, actually, that at least somehow contributes to the future sustainable and long-term peace. You know, that's actually what the mission is for. The mission certainly is not for cementing some status quo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Prague and the embassy will also be involved in a whole slew of other cooperations with Armenia in various sectors. You posted on Facebook, I believe, about 3 different projects which there will be cooperation with regards. I saw the Bridge of Hope, the Analytical Center on Globalization and Regional Cooperation, Women's Support Center, the Coalition of Domestic Violence Support Centers. So really a range of different issues and sectors. I'm wondering, what is the embassy's priorities going to be? What areas would you like to see perhaps focused on? If you could speak a bit to that, please.
Sure. And I'm glad to see that you're well informed actually about what we do at the embassy. So I would take this opportunity and encourage everyone to follow our social networks, particularly our Facebook, which is the most popular and the most used social network here in Armenia. Anyway, so I already told you that I chose Armenia as my destination, as my ambassadorship destination, and honestly speaking, I came here not to relax only. I will try to enjoy it, but I do want to do something here. I also told you that since my arrival, Armenians, both the official Armenians as well as the unofficial, just ordinary people, has been very good to me. Since my arrival, I have met virtually all ministers, all members of the government, including the Prime Minister, and I see that the Armenian side actually is interested in cooperating with the Czech Republic, and I can assure you that the Czech Republic is interested in cooperating with Armenia as well. So there are, if we speak about the bilateral cooperation, there are many areas that we can go further and we can somehow deepen and strengthen our relationship. One of the priorities I came with is to make the connections between people a bit more active. So we have some official visits planned. We expect the Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, to come to the Czech Republic soon. We expect our Minister of Foreign Affairs to come to Armenia. The Speaker of the Czech Parliament will come here, and so on and so on. So this is actually one track or one field that I would like to contribute to some activation. You mentioned the projects that we just signed. Those were so-called small local projects that we truly, as you rightly pointed out, we as the embassy signed with Armenian NGOs or Armenian civil society organizations. This is a part of the so-called transformational cooperation. Armenia for the Czech Republic is one of the priority countries for this so-called transformational cooperation, because we understand that the Czech Republic and Armenia have a similar historical experience. We both countries were a part of the socialist bloc. We have a similar experience with socialism and with transformation from socialism to democracy, from planned economy to an open capitalistic economy. So we as the Czech Republic have been open and willing to share our experience with the transformation, to share our best practices, as we usually call it, in areas like civil society, media, judicial, system, the work of the NGOs, and so on. So this is actually another topic or another priority that I want to continue with. Of course, the contacts amongst people shouldn't be only on the official level. So we are happy to see that just ordinary people, be it tourists, students, scientists, from both countries are interested in coming to the Czech Republic or to Armenia, I would like to just, one of my goals is to raise the visibility of the Czech Republic. I am very lucky because I represent a country that most people know. And everyone I talk to knows about the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia. You Armenians really don't distinguish between those quite often, which is no problem for us because the Slovaks are really our, we have a special relationship to our Slovak brothers. So everyone knows the Czech Republic, and everyone likes the Czech Republic, and it's. I am lucky to represent a country with such positive connotations here in Armenia. However, I would like the Czech Republic to be more visible here. Not just in Yerevan, but here in Armenia, in the Armenian region. So that's why I try to be active on social networks. That's why I meet people. I try to meet as many people as I can. I try to meet Armenians, particularly. We have plans for trips to the region, so I would like to visit and learn about the regions. I certainly do not want to stay only in Yerevan, and my goal is that the Czech Republic is seen here and is known as a country that is not just beautiful. It's not just Prague and beer. The Czech Republic has certainly much more to offer. It's a country that is modern, that is safe, that has nice people, like who smile. And when I see that people smile back, and people know that Czechia is actually a country that I consider, I have a great satisfaction actually of my work. So that's another area that I would like to focus and to be active. To let you know that the Czech Republic is a very good country that you should certainly know about, and ideally you should come to. And just briefly, of course, there are opportunities also in economy. You may know that the trade turnout last year increased by a lot, by up to 60% actually. So the trade between Armenia and the Czech Republic has been rising. Okay, what has been rising mostly is the exports from the Czech Republic to Armenia, which is something that we need to look into more in detail, but we are very happy to see that the numbers are rising. And last thing I want to mention, and I would like to focus together with my colleagues at the embassy, is the work of our consular section. Because the consular section, the section that deals with visas and with visas for Armenian citizens, and with the consular cases, with the help for the Czechs who get in troubles. This is actually something that, in my understanding, represents the foreign service for the ordinary people, actually. So it is more visible and it has a more impact for the normal, ordinary people, right? More than political information that we send, of course, as well. You know, so this is something that I would also like to focus on, and I would like to make sure that the Czech Republic actually is seen as a country that is welcoming to those who are interested. And if you have all the documents and if you have all the necessary papers ready, we are happy to see you at the consular section of the embassy.
Okay, wow, that's great. I also just wanted to mention that Armenia had, you said the comparisons between the Czech Republic and Armenia. Armenia had its Velvet Revolution in 2018, which very much echoed the Velvet Revolution in the Czech Republic. So Ambassador, I want to thank you very much for your time and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much again for having me, and it was a pleasure, and it will always be a pleasure to work with the CivilNet.
Okay, thank you very much. And also there will be direct flights between Prague and Yerevan coming from June with Wizz Air. Thank you for joining us with CivilNet.